Shalom, shalom. Let's see. Yo, yo, yo. Can y'all hear me? All right, so we live. All right, Shalom, Israel. This is the Israelite School of UPK, started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Juliana. Today is Wednesday night biblical law class. And what we're going to talk about today is Donald Trump and how he wants to give police immunity for doing their job, quote unquote. You know what I mean? He want to give the police immunity for doing their job. And you can hear? Okay, most time correct. All right, so they Donald Trump want to give police immunity for doing their job, quote unquote. And why that's so important to know is because that's going to affect so many black people, and you're gonna see so many um, oppressors get away with taking the lives of innocent black people, all because they know that they can get immunity. You understand? So we're gonna talk about that, and we also gonna talk about how that also ties into Sonya Macy and how she was innocently unalive, and how her the assailant, the culprit who unalived her, his name was Sean Grayson, how he could potentially be let go of all charges because of this immunity that Donald Trump is kind of trying to give police. And like I said, I want to talk about why that's so important because Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians, we are oppressed in America. You know what I mean? This is not our home. This is not our land. This is not our rest. And going to church, you don't understand that because you go to church and they teach you that everything gonna be all right. Everything is okay. You ain't got nothing to worry about. They teach you to march. They teach you to pray in Jesus' name. Everything in Jesus' name. They teach black people superstition, and that's one of the reasons why Sandra Macy life was taken from her. You understand? So we're gonna go into this Bible, man, and I'm gonna show you how this Bible is a living book. You understand? Every other culture they got their gods that they worship. The Arabs got the Allah. You know, the Chinese got the Buddha. The Indians got Shiva, whoever they worship. But those are man-made gods. This Bible, the God of this Bible is a living God. You understand? So we gonna get into you know the law. We gonna get into the law, and I'm gonna show you how we made a covenant with the Lord during the time of Moses. And a lot of the things that we suffer with today, and a lot of things that's happening to us today, is because we broke that covenant. Because we taught that the old covenant is the laws are done away with. You don't got to keep those laws, and in return, we suffer for it. So let's go to Exodus chapter 24, verse 7 and 6. Let's go to Exodus chapter 24, verse 7 and 6. Exodus chapter 24, verse 7. And he said unto Moses, oh, that's verse 1, Salakia. Verse 6, and Moses took half of the blood and put it in a basin, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people. So that's what I'm doing right now. This book that I'm reading right now, this is the book of the covenant. This right here. This is not a novel. You understand? This is a very important book right here. This is a strong book right here. It's not a fairy tale book or a novel. This book contains laws, statutes, and judgments for breaking those laws. And it's also the covenant that he made with the children of Israel. Or is all of this is contained in this book. You understand? This book right here is the history book and the records of black people. So what we read right now is the history of the Israelites after we left Egypt, after we left slavery. So let's read what Moses did. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in a basin, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people. And you know why that's so important? And before I break that down, be quiet, Montezah. Go. That's so important because, like, that's so important because the Christian church, they don't read the book. of the covenant. They don't read it. They read John 3:16, and then from there they just give you prosperity speakings for the rest of their sermon. You got women up there teaching. You got homosexuals in there. Everybody coming as they are. You understand? And if they read this book, half the things that go on in the Christian church wouldn't be allowed. But like I said, they don't read this book, and that's another reason why black people believe in talking snakes. They believe that Adam and Eve ate an apple. They believe that Satan is took a third of the angels from heaven. He's in somehow he's at war with God. They believe bunnies lay eggs. Everything that you ever learned about the Bible and about God from the Christian church has been warped. Your whole ideology has been warped concerning the Bible. You understand? But what did Moses do? Moses opened up the book in front of the people. And what happened? Which the Lord had made with you concerning all these words. Hold on, it's like it. Verse 7. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people. And they said, all that the Lord have said, we will do and be obedient. So we entered into a covenant with God. Moses sprinkled the blood on us. We entered into a covenant with God. And we told Moses that we going to be obedient and we going to do everything that God said for us to do. Everything that's written in this book, we said we was going to do it. You understand? But guess what? It's a stipulation for that. You understand? It's a stipulation for that. We agreed to the covenant. And then mind you, it's a blood covenant, meaning this is forever. This ain't gonna never go away. So whether you decide that you don't want to serve God in this lifetime, you gonna be in this covenant with God because it's a blood covenant forever. You understand? But that's what we did when we left the wilderness. And like I said, it's a stipulation with this. So let's go to the stipulation. Now let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 1. Let's see what the Lord said that was gonna happen to the children of Israel. After we agreed and said that we was gonna do everything the Lord said for us to do, let's see what the Lord said was gonna happen if we agree and we actually do according to what He told us to do. So let's go to Deuteronomy 28:1. Yahweh Shem Shabrakatah. Candace Porter was going on, sis. Yahweh Shem Shai. Um, verse Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. And it came to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. So that's what the Lord said was going to happen to the children of Israel if we decide to listen to the Most High. He said we was going to be set on high above all the nations of the earth. What condition what condition is black people in right now? We not sitting on high above all the nations of the earth. We actually at the bottom. You understand? You know why? Because like I said, it's a stipulation. We entered into a blood covenant with the Lord, and then the Deuteronomy in 28th chapter telling you what's going to happen if you obey those orders that the Lord said for us to obey, and what's going to happen if you don't obey those orders. And one of those orders, if we obeyed them, was saying that we was going to be set on high above all nations of the earth. You understand? Let's keep going. And all these blessings shall come upon thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. And if we listen to the Lord, we was going to be blessed if we listen. You understand? If we was obedient. But you know what the problem is? We taught in America, because of the Christian church, not to be obedient to God. You understand? We taught that all you got to do is believe that Jesus Christ died for your sins, and you can be as wicked as hell as you want to be. Like Christianity is the only religion that you don't have to change when you join that religion. You can remain the same person you always been. Like at least, and I'm not saying Islam is a good religion. Islam is completely garbage. That's some of the best toilet tissue, you know what I'm saying, and Kleenex you can ever use. The Quran is trash. What I'm saying is that at least Muslims, the Arabs, when they decide that they want to be Muslim, they stop eating pork. That women cover up. They try to keep some laws. But when you become a Christian, you don't have to do anything. You can be a sinner, and then you can go to church and you can say, you know what, everybody falls short. You don't have to change. You understand? And And all these blessings shall come upon thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. We taught not to hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Even though you got millions of preachers saying that God speak to them, God came to me in a dream, God told me this, God told me this. They're not teaching you how to hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God and be obedient to God. You understand? So let's drop that. Boom. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Let's drop down to verse 7. The Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways. So, contrary to popular belief, Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, we have enemies. If we did not have enemies, we would not be in the condition that we in right now. We would not have drug addicts in our neighborhoods. Our sisters wouldn't be like Megan Thee Stallion be at a presidential rally twerking for Kamala Harris and the world to see. You understand? Everything that going on in the black community, this would not be happening if it wasn't for us having enemies. You know how I know? Because the enemy wouldn't hang you on trees from city to city. Slack it. A friend, I'm gonna tell you how we got enemies. Because a friend would not hang you on trees from city to city. A friend would not put drugs in your community. A friend would not convince your woman that they need to turn against their man and put them on child support. You understand? A friend would not, have you celebrating all these holidays that's against your God. Friends don't do that. You see what I'm saying? That's how I know we got enemies. And it said, the Lord shall cause thine enemies, Slacky, and the Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. Like our enemies that rise, if you serve the Lord, he, he gonna cause your enemies to be smitten before you. They're gonna be unalive before you. And when you serve the Lord, when you do what the Lord say, you understand? They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways. The Lord shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses. Okay, I'm gonna drop down a little bit. For time's sake, let's drop down to verse 9. And the Lord shall establish thee in holy people unto himself. Like I said, so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians, we are a holy people. The word holy, we said every class, the word holy means to be separated. We are separate people. That's not the same as everybody else. We are separate people. You understand? As he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God and walk in his ways. If we decide to walk in the Lord's ways and keep his commandments, we're gonna be a holy people. But if we don't decide to keep his commandments, we're not gonna be holy. So guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna integrate into a burning house like Martin Luther King said. You understand? We're gonna accept any and everybody. Is that not what black people are doing right now with Kamala Harris? Because Kamala Harris went to a HBCU because she eat hot sauce on her greens, and she's from Oakland, California. We automatically think that she's a black woman when Kamala Harris is not a black woman. You understand? But you know why we did that? Because we sinned against God. So now instead of us being a holy people, we are integrated people. We accept anybody. You understand? We accept anybody. When Kamala Harris already said, "I will never do anything that just benefit black people," even though she signed the bills that benefited just Asians, even though she signed bills that benefited just the trans community, even though she signed bills that benefit just the LGBTQ community, she signed all these bills that specifically benefit these sects of community. It's like that benefit their community, but she don't sign anything to benefit black people. You know why? Because she don't give a damn about black people. But black people don't give a damn. That's why you got all the black women in America that didn't raise millions of dollars for Kamala Harris, just because they under the impression that she's a black woman. Insane, insane. Let me see. What we at? Verse 10. And all the people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee. Like all the people of the earth, they supposed to be see that we call by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of us. But guess what? We right now we not being called by the name of the Lord. We not Yasha Allah. We not Israel no more. We became a byword, and I'm gonna get into that. But they supposed to know, like God' reputation is supposed to be so heavy throughout the earth. People are supposed to know, Man, look at God destroyed Egypt. He did this to these people. He put the Israelites in slavery. God don't play. You understand? He unalived the whole earth except 8 people. That's the God of the Bible. And that's supposed to be his reputation throughout the earth, and especially when it comes to dealing with his children. And who is his children? So-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, man. Every kingdom that went against Black people had to suffer for it, specifically Egypt. Look at Egypt. Egypt is there's no more Egypt anymore. And at one point in time, there was a superpower on the earth. Now you go there, everybody pissing on the side of the pyramids. It's sand blowing everywhere. It's nothing. You understand? But the people is supposed to know that we are the children of God, and they're supposed to be afraid to even play with Black people like that. Like, you see how they did that, Sister Sonya Macy? They supposed to be afraid to go inside a Black woman's house. You understand? And then take her life, take her life like that because she told them, she rebuked them in the name of Jesus. You understand? We in an evil place, man. I don't know if you know that or not. You understand? But we are in an evil, evil, evil place when you witness something like that on TV. You understand? And everybody can just go about living a normal life like it never happened. You understand? But like what I was saying is that if if we served the Lord and we did everything the Lord said, because that's our strength, that's our power, that's our wisdom in the sights of the other nations. If they knew that, they would fear putting their hands on a Black woman. They would fear putting their hands on a Black man. They would absolutely fear because they know what God would do to them, not us. We ain't never had to pick up no weapons and no to get out of slavery. God always freed us. You understand? But when you don't serve your God and you don't do what He say, you make yourself a second class citizen and you make yourself into a victim. You understand? Uh, and the Lord shall make thee. Let me drop down a little bit. Let me see where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna drop down to 13. And the Lord shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath, if thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy God, which I command thee this day, to observe and to do them. Like that, the Lord said we was gonna be above everybody, and we was gonna be the what did it say? And the Lord shall make thee the head and not the tail. We supposed to be the head and not the tail. And thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath. We gonna be above only and not be beneath. Right now, we beneath everybody. You understand? Because we do not serve the Lord. We decided it was better and it was more intriguing to serve the people that oppress us. And guess what? We did the same thing when we was leaving Egypt. We was doing the same when we was leaving Egypt. Black people thought it was hard. Hispanic people thought it was difficult being independent. We didn't want that burden. So you know what we said? Let's go back to Egypt. We didn't have to get our own food. We didn't have to start our own businesses. We didn't have to raise our own children. We didn't have to do anything. So guess what? Those people that taught that, they had to die off because of that. They did not make it into the kingdom, into Jerusalem, to the promised land. They didn't even get to make it. You understand? And it said, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath, if thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy God, which I command thee this day, to observe and to do. And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day, to the right or to the left, to go after other gods and to serve them. Like when it comes to serving God, you're supposed to walk that narrow path. You ain't supposed to go to the right or to the left. But we taught in the Christian church, and we taught in the Black community that you can serve whatever God you want. You can serve the Lord on your own terms, and it doesn't matter. It's not that serious. When actually, when you read the Bible, that's a crime that you really would get punished for. You think that we just by chance we just the people that oppress us was able to just gather us up and bring us to America and oppress us for 400, 500 years? No, that's not about coincidence. We disobeyed our God. You see what I'm saying? Let's drop that. Let's go to 15. But it shall come to pass if thou wilt not hearken. So now this is stipulation. We read everything that the Lord said was going to happen if we do according to everything that He told us to do. But it's a stipulation. If you don't do what the Lord said, this is the stipulation. Let's read it. But when you see "but" in the Bible, it's one of the most important words in the Bible. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. But if you don't do what the Lord said, all these curses are going to come upon you and overtake thee. So now we're going to start getting into the curses. You understand? We're going to start getting into all the curses that the Lord said was going to happen to the children of Israel. And that's how we know that so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians are the children of God, and that we are Israelites according to the Bible. Because the Lord said that these curses was going to be on us forever for a sign and a wonder, no matter where we went. So just because we not in the Middle East no more, you understand, we not in Jerusalem, our homeland, and we all over the damn world. We in Japan, America, we the Central South America, the West Indies. We scattered everywhere. And even though we scattered through all these places, the Lord said no matter where you go, these curses was gonna follow us. That's how we know that we the children of Israel. You understand? So now let's get into the curses. Let's go to uh, in verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Like, look at black people. We cursed in the city. You understand? Look what happened. Look what happened to Sonya Macy. Look what happened to Freddie Gray. Look what happened to Oscar Grant, Tamir Rice. You understand? Mike Brown. The list go on. It's so many people named on our list. We cursed. You know why? Because we cursed in the city, and we cursed in the field. They got Hispanic brothers working the field just like how black people worked the field in slavery, picking cotton. Now they picking tomatoes and avocados and watermelons and all these fruits, and especially out here in California. If it weren't for Mexicans, produce. You see what I'm saying? There would be no produce. You got to thank them for that. But it's also because it's a curse. You understand? We ain't supposed to be like other nations ain't supposed to be reaping the benefits, our benefits, standing in the hot sun all day for 14 hours, doing all this hard labor. But guess what? The Lord said that was gonna happen to us. All right, so let's drop that. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 23. Uh, all right, where is it? Okay, and thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron. So the heaven that's above your head shall be brass, and the earth that's under you shall be iron. I mean, what is this talking about? This talking about being in prison. You understand? Black people, like, first off, it's more black and Hispanics in prison and in the county jail than there was actual slaves in 1619 and the 1600s and the 1700s and the 1800s. It's more black men in prison. Why? Because that's a curse from God. What did it say? Read it again. And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron. So what is earth? I mean, what is heaven? Heaven is a place on earth. Heaven is a condition. Instead of you being at the top, instead of you having money, you having resources, and you having all these things for your family and for your community, you're not going to have that. You're going to be in prison with bars and iron. That's a curse from God. Verse 24, the Lord shall make the rain of thy land power. I'm going to drop down. You know what I mean? Go to 25. And the Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Like I said, if you don't know, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, we have enemies. Why do you think that Native American Indians on reservations and nobody even know that Native Americans even exist no more? They just hidden on a goddamn reservation somewhere in the boonies, out the way. You don't even see Native American Indians no more. You understand? Why? What did it say? The Lord shall cause thine enemies to be slacking. And where was I just at? 23. Oh yeah, the Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Right. We have enemies. That's why is hitting on reservations. That's why black men are in prison and Hispanics are in prison. That's why we tucked away in the ghetto. Let me turn this Wi-Fi on. Slacking. Slacking right quick. You understand? But yeah, that's why we in this horrible condition because we have enemies. And we don't just have one enemy. We don't got just like our enemy. It ain't just the oppressor. You know what I mean? It's not just the pale faces. We have a lot of enemies, man. You understand? Anybody that come to America and that take advantage of black people is an enemy. You understand? All these nations here. It's like we already at the bottom, and these other nations is like crabs. They taking the we already don't got nothing because they like these other nations is like bottom feeders. They taking even the little scraps that we got. They taking it away. They taking it away. They like crabs. You understand? And then they want to blame black people for the condition that we in. They taking advantage of us. But also it's our fault too because we wouldn't be in the situation if we was taught to serve the Lord. You understand? Let's keep going. And and the Lord shall cause thee to be spent before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. Like, see, before our enemies used to flee before us because of our reputation and because of our God's reputation. But now they don't flee before us. We flee before them. We run. You understand? And guess what? We've been taken into, what did it say again? And shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. Now you got black men in all the kingdoms of the earth because we decided that we didn't want to serve our God and we would rather serve them. If you really want to just keep it, be honest with you, if you really want to just keep it 100, we thought it was more beneficial to serve them than serve our God. Insane. Let's keep going. Let me go to 33. Let me go to 33. Yep. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall, matter of fact, 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given into another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. Like you got immigration custom enforcement that's separating families at the border right now, putting little kids in dog cages. You got sisters that's coming up missing left and right. You understand? You got sisters getting unalive. You got brothers coming up missing, kids, children, black people. You understand? And there ain't no might in your hand as a parent to do anything to prevent this. You understand? Because your only strength, your true strength, is supposed to be serving the Lord. That's supposed to be your true strength. Because if you serve Him, none of this would even happen to us if we serve the Lord. None of it. You see? And the fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up. Now we this all these nations that we don't know, they eat up all the fruit of our labor. You understand? Like black people, we put like how you think America was built? How you think it's built? It was built on blood, sweat, and tears, real hardcore labor, even to this day. Even to this day. And guess what? What it say again? And all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and these nations eat it up. These other nations get paid for it. Who you think made Jack Daniels? A black man. Who you think made the television? A black man. Who you think made the Ethernet cord and the water guns and these game systems and all this? All black people. Cell phone, cars, anything you can think of. Black people, Hispanic and Native American Indians, single-handedly innovated the entire world. Like just think about it like on some simple stuff, right? If it wasn't for a black man creating a damn lawnmower, think about how the earth would be looking right now if it wasn't for black people creating a lawnmower. But guess what? We don't reap the benefits. Other nations eat up our hard work. They get paid for it. You understand? And this is what we wanted. You understand? This is what we wanted. We was taught that this is better, and this is literally what the Christian church teach you every day. They teaching this better. Yeah, that's why you got Megan Thee Stallion twerking all at the presidential rally and telling black people to vote every year. You got all these black people with Snoop Dogg. Everybody vote or die. If you don't vote, you ain't black. And then these people get in office and never do nothing for black people because they're not concerned with the condition of black people. Nobody is, and that's why we should stop trying to make it everybody else's responsibility to fix the black community. It's not their responsibility, bro. It's not this your responsibility to do that. You gotta get off drugs. You gotta stop getting high. You gotta wake up and say, you know what? I have a duty as a black man, as a Hispanic man, as a Native American Indian man. I can't get high no more. I can't be a drunkard. I can't be lazy. I can't do this. I can't do that. You got to do that. You understand? Because if you don't, we're gonna be in this situation. All right. So let's keep going. Verse 34. So that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes which thou seest. Like nigga, like man, if this ain't true, like you go ride around the ghetto, you supposed to like if you wise and you really care about your people, you supposed to see the condition that they in, and that's supposed to anger you. Like it's supposed to be like, damn, like, why we living like that? Why we like why Chicago like that? Why Detroit like that? Why Oakland like that? Like you like they had this food critic named Keith Lee. He went to Oakland, to get food and be a critic on food. He got there and was like, Oakland is like Gotham City. He said this is like Gotham, which meaning what? This is lawless. This is why can you go out there, people getting shot in front of you, robbed, they running out of the stores, stealing stuff. You understand? They bipping cars. If you don't know what bipping cars is, they breaking in windows. You understand? But guess what? We can't blame the youth for a 60-year-old problem. We can't blame them. You gotta start blaming people that say that they the shepherds of black people. That said that they got black people's best interest. Like your Christian pastor. Like all these people in the NAACP, we need to be blaming them. You understand? The same people that told us that to integrate and love the people that oppress us, we need to blame them. The same people that told us that we go to church, that's going to change something in the community, we need to blame them. The same people that told us that if you vote, that's going to change some of your community, we need to blame them. The same people that said, no, we need to vote and leave it up to Donald Trump, leave it up to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to fix the community. You understand? We need to be blaming them for telling us that garbage because it's not their responsibility. It's our responsibility. You see what I'm saying? And you're supposed to be mad because guess what? You left it up to them. You left it up to Kamala Harris and Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And now you riding around the city doing what? So that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes, which thou shalt see. Now you mad. You looking at the black community like, why is it like this? Because you left it up to somebody else to fix your people who don't give a damn about you, man. You see what I'm saying? You gotta wake up. Verse 35. The Lord shall smite thee in the knees. And in the leg, I'm gonna jump down to 36. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king which thou shalt set over thee unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone. We doing this. That's why I say this Bible is a living book. This is a living book because everything that is said that will happen to the children of Israel is happening right now as we speak to Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. We serving other guys right now. What's that other God? That stone, that's talking about being a Muslim. You understand? That's the Arabs' culture. That wood, talking about that wooden cross, that's talking about being a Christian. That's the white people culture. That's not our culture. You understand? And we so busy trying to follow. Like it amazes me how black people arrogantly follow lies. You understand? You see what I'm saying? Like we arrogantly follow lies and we never try to fact check. We never try to dig deeper. We just go with the flow and just it don't make no sense, man. But what did it say? The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, into a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. We don't know these people, man. These are strange nations. These are strange people. And there you shall serve other gods, even wood and stone. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all the nations which the Lord shall which the Lord shall lead thee. And guess what? We became a proverb and a byword in all these nations. What do you know? I know. What do these other nations call black people? Black, nigga, African American, Afro American. You understand? It's like every 10 years our nationality changed. Every 20 years or so, it changed, and we start being known as something else, but similar. You know why? Because it's recorded in the Bible that was going to happen to us. We known for everything other than Yasha Allah. We know for every other name except the children of Israel, the Hebrews according to the Bible. You understand? We known as black, Negro, African American, Afro American, but guess what? We not known as being Israelites. We not known for that. Because why? And thou shalt become an astonishment. We you know how astonishing it is to lose your culture? You understand? Nigga, you know how astonishing it is to get your culture taken away from you. That's why the Arabs, I'm not saying I agree with it, but that's why you think the Arabs is they suicide bombers and doing that. They refuse to let somebody take their culture and give them a culture that their forefathers never knew. They refuse to do that. But black people, we accept it. We accept it and we stand for. You know, people say we stand on business. We stand for it like it's the national anthem or something. You understand? And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword. We known as being niggas, spicks, wetbacks, savages. We not known for being the children of Israel. And that's a curse from God. And among all the nations which the Lord shall lead thee, thou shalt carry. Let me drop down. Was it? Okay, let me just go to verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. We black Hispanic name bringing this. We got sons and daughters, and a lot of times we don't even get to enjoy them because we in captivity. Our children don't even make it. We burying our children before our children bury us. Either they go into prison, they get shot down in the street, they get abducted. You know all these horrible things that you would hope that never happened to a child that come from you. It's happening to us. You understand? And we don't even get to enjoy our children. Like Sonya Mason, she didn't get to enjoy her child. She was 37 years old. She probably had an 18-year-old son or something. That's young. Both of them young. Life gone. You know what I'm saying? Look what happened to Oscar Grant. Young. Look what happened to Trayvon Martin. Young. Mike Brown. Young. Tamir Rice. Young. We don't even get to enjoy our children because we're in captivity. You understand? And why am I putting so much emphasis on it? Because it'd be different if this happened to all people, but this don't happen to all people. This don't happen to all people. You understand? They got one Asian man that got knocked out downtown New York somewhere. They signed a whole bill saying, "Hey man, stop Asian hate." But then you got people like Sonya Macy that's getting unalived in her house for saying, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." There's no bill or nothing to stop them from unaliving black people and killing black people wrongfully. You understand? Nothing. Let me see where I was at. Verse 30, verse 43. The the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. You see what I'm saying? The stranger that's with us, they won't get it very high, or we gonna get very low. Black people at the bottom. You understand? Some of our neighborhoods even call it the bottom. Oh, we in the bottoms. Just the bottoms right now. You go watch all the YouTube videos. Everybody got a bottoms in their city. And guess what? Everybody got a bottoms in their city. And guess what? It's only where black people at. It ain't where Chinese people at. It ain't where Asians is at. It ain't where the Arabs is at. They don't have no bottoms in their neighborhood. But you go to the black neighborhood, I don't give a damn where you at. We have a part of the city that's called the bottoms. You understand? Being why? Because we very low and they got very high. That's why they live in the hills. They live in the Hollywood Hills. They live in the Oakland Hills. You understand? Because they literally got above us very high and we came down very low. You understand? And he shall, let me see, verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed. Look, and all these curses have come upon black people and chased us until we was consumed and destroyed. That's what happened. Because thou hearken not unto the voice of the Lord thy God to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And that's crazy. Like when you read the Old Testament, Everything is about keeping God's law, statutes, and commandments, being obedient, listening. You understand? But then you go to the Christian church and they say, "Oh man, no, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to." And that's why God gave us a stipulation. He said, "This is what's gonna happen if you do it, and this is what's gonna happen if you don't do it." But the Christians, they go straight to no, you don't have to do it. Period. To hell, what God said was gonna happen if you do it. To hell, what He said will happen if you don't do it. You don't have to do anything, and you wonder why your life is destroyed. You wonder why your life is destroyed. You understand? What we got? Verse 46. Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wondering, and upon thy seed forever. And like I said, no matter where we go, God said that these curses are going to be on us for a sign and a wondering. No matter where you go, you're going to be wondering, like, damn, why the hell my life? Why my life like this? Why I'm suffering, going through all this hell? Why am I, you know what I mean? You gonna know that this has to be a sign from God that I'm living like this. It has to be a sign from God that not just me personally, but my whole community is in shambles, just completely destroyed. It got to be deeper than just, you know what I mean? It's deep. It got to be deeper. And when you ask those type of questions, why me, why us, why our people, then you gonna see we have not did what the Lord told us to do. You understand? We've been arrogantly following lies and disobeying the Lord and being told in a place where you're supposed to go and learn about God, everything is okay. Sing, clap, and dance and cry and have convulsions on the ground and don't worry about nothing. You understand? Or we continue to get unalived by police, or they continue to abduct our children. And, you understand? And take our, all this stuff that's going on, man. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of the heart for the abundance of all things. Like all this happening because we don't serve the Lord with gladness and joyfulness. Like I said, when you read these records, the Bible say everything that was written aforetime was written for our learning. When you open up this book and you read everything that happened before we were here, and you read these records, you see that it was a time when we was leaving Egypt, leaving slavery. It was in the Middle East, and the people decided to build a golden calf and go back to Egypt. Why? Because it was easier to go back to serving the God that they were serving in Egypt, a false God that they made with their hands. It was easier going back to Egypt and being a drunkard and being a strung out on dope and not having responsibilities. That was easy. But now when you build your community up is on you, you don't want to do it. And guess what? Oh, hey, go in there. I'll let get off the bike and go to mama now. And that's why you look at people like Dr. Umar Johnson. You understand? He getting all this money for black people, and he teach all this black and all this educational stuff, but he get your money and do nothing with it because he's how Dr. Umar Johnson was supposed to build a school years ago. Ain't nobody they've been giving this man money for years for school, and we still ain't seen it. Go in there with your mom. So, but he was supposed to build a school for years now. We still ain't seen the school. You know why? Because he don't want the burden of responsibility to do that for black people. He don't want to do that. You know what I mean? It's too much of a responsibility to run a school. You know what I mean? Hire people and educate people and really do it. He's selfish. And that's how we got in this situation in the first place because black people was taught that you got your own personal relationship with God and you can be selfish. You understand? When you can't do that. Okay. Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Right. Like I said, if you don't know, we have enemies. We don't have friends out here. These other nations don't look at you as a friend. They look at you as competition and an enemy. You understand? And this is why This is what they understand, and this is what the Lord understands. There's no such thing as being equal. Somebody has to be at the top, and somebody has to be at the bottom. And that's why the Lord said, "You are holy people. You're gonna be above all people if you do what I said. But if you don't, you're gonna be under everybody. You're gonna be at the bottom. You understand? Because guess what? There is no such thing as equality. You understand? Somebody got to be at the top, and somebody got to be at the bottom. You just got to make the decision of what you want to do. Because here in the ISUBK, we made the decision. You understand? We made the decision that we don't want to be at the bottom. You understand? We want to be at the top, and not just us, but our nation. We want our nation to be. Because you know why? Because we better leaders. We better leaders than Donald Trump and Kamala Harris and what's his name? Joe. What's that nigga name? Joe Biden. You know how I know? Because Joe Biden's son smoked crack. This nigga the president. Nigga's son smoked crack. He said he was smoking crack every hour, buying prostitutes. That's how I know. You know how I know? Because we would never do the things that they do to black people to them if we was in power. These are some horrible people, man. You understand? I just seen Donald Trump get on the news and say that he was basically saying that it was Sonya Macy's fault that she was unalive. She was saying it was her fault. He said it didn't look right. You talking about the boiling water thing, the boiling water? Yeah, it didn't look right. And then somebody asked him, like, would a cop get immunity? He like, I don't know. He might. We got, you know what I'm saying, look at the video and see what's going on. But he might, I don't know. And that's why I said you're going to continue to see cases like Sonya Macy and everybody else that lost their life. You will continue to see more cases like this because not only is Donald Trump granting police immunity, you understand, but he wants them to stop and frisk. You understand? This is horrible. We're in a horrible situation right now. Why? Because we have enemies, but we're not being told that we have enemies. You understand? What was we at? He said, I'm gonna read that again. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. And that literally happened to black people. Go look up slave images when you get a chance. Go on Google and look up slave images, and guess what's gonna pop up? Black people with yokes of iron on their neck. That's what's gonna pop up. And they said they're gonna put that yoke of iron on our neck until they destroy black people. You understand? We like a lot of people think black people got free from Abraham Lincoln and the Emancipation Proclamation and all that. No, we never was free. You understand? They made sure that they kept us in slavery until we was destroyed, until we did not remember who we was anymore. We forgot that we was Israelites. Now we just niggas. We just slaves. We just black folk. We just country. We forgot who we was. You understand? It was all by design. Let's keep going. And the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far and from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. So he said the Lord was going to bring a nation against us from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. Why is he giving you this analogy of an eagle flying? Why? Because the pale face, their culture and their image has always been an eagle. When you look at the Romans, the eagle. When you look at the Greeks, the eagle. When you look at America, the eagle. That's why I said a nation from far as swift as the eagle flieth. And what it said they was gonna do? A nation, um, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. English is not our first language. Our language is Hebrew. Spanish is not our language. Our language is Hebrew. Creole is not our language. Our language is Hebrew. French is not our language. Our language is Hebrew. You understand? A nation of fierce countenance which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. And guess what? This nation that it's referring to, they not gonna give a damn about the person that's old up in age or the person that's young. You understand? They don't give a damn about. I seen a video when it was a black woman delivering something for Uber to some old white man house, and she was old. She about 60 some years old. That white man came outside and shot her, unalived her, and said he been getting death threats. He was afraid for his life, and that's an old woman. They don't give a damn about you being old. You got people like Tamir Rice, who was what 11 years old, 12 years old, who was killed in 3 seconds. The police bounced down, and started shooting before the car stopped. Before the car even stopped, 11-year-old boy. And you can go even further back and go look at Emmett Till, 14-year-old boy, 15-year-old boy. Cause you know why? Cause they don't give a damn about you being old or young. An enemy is an enemy. That's how they look at black people. You understand? What it say? I'm gonna read that again. And it said, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. You would think that you see a young kid, you show favor to the kid. You know what I'm saying? You would think that if you, especially if you see a woman, you show favor to a woman. But this nation of people, they don't give a damn. They don't have no conscience. They don't have no morality. You understand? They don't have no principle. You understand? Verse 51. And he shall eat of the. No, I'm gonna skip that part. Let's go to 50. Let's start at. Let me see. No, that was already 50. Let me see right quick. I'm gonna go. Let's go to 64. I'm gonna go to 64. And it say, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even to the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And right now we serving other gods that none of our Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, those are our forefathers. They don't know nothing about being a Christian or a Muslim. They were not Christians or Muslims. They were Israelites. You understand? They don't know about serving other gods. That's why I keep saying neither nor thy fathers have known. It's not our culture. This is not a part of our identity as a people. These are false gods. You understand? And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee a trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of the mind. You see that? And it said among these nations, when it say nations, it's talking about race of people. And it said when we get around these other nations and we get among these other nations, we not gonna find no ease. We ain't gonna find no peace. Why you think that Sonya Macy was unalive in that way that she was unalive? But I got a question. How long will black people be mad? You understand? How long will black people be mad? Because it don't really seem like we angry. It's like we want to be angry for a time just because it's popular to talk about at the time. How long are you really gonna be mad? You understand? Because we don't forget these things that happen to our people in ISBK. We remember them. And we want you to remember it too. We don't want you to get comfortable. You know, Ecclesiastes 12, I think 12:10 say, "Never trust thine enemy, for as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness." If you forget, over time, you will start to trust these people again, and you will start to tell yourself and manipulate yourself and tell yourself, "Well, that was just an isolated incident. These people, I know some good. I know some of them that's good." Well, now, when you should be on eggshells, you should be on everything moving. You should be on point and say that no, this is not an isolated incident. That was an act of war against my people because we ain't the same race. You understand? We need to start discriminating like how they discriminate. When September 11th happened, were not Arabs discriminated against because some Arabs allegedly bombed the World Trade Center. Yeah, they was looked at different. The children, the parents, everybody, and that's how we supposed to look at it. You know what I mean? And you know why they was looking at the Arabs different? Because they said a people that's not our people, a strange nation, came and they hurt Americans. You understand? They hurt America. That was an act of war because we're not the same people. So I don't trust these people anymore. When we gonna start doing that? To say, hey man, you know what? These people hurt innocent black women and children and men. These are not my friends. These are enemies. You know what I mean? When we gonna start doing that? Instead of trying to love and be sweet and all this garbage that you learned in the Christian church. You understand? And that's why it's important for you to be mad. But the Bible say, be mad and sin not. You can be angry, but sin not. When I say be mad, I ain't telling you to go do nothing to no white man. I'm telling you to get yourself together and let's fix our community together as black men and women. You understand? Let's keep going. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. Yeah, we got trembling hearts. We see the police and black. They'll let the police get behind black people. Your heart get to trembling because you've seen so many countless tapes of black people getting unalived. You understand, on body cam on other people recording. You seen so many tapes. They pull you over, you be scared to death because you know all it takes for you to say the wrong thing or that cop to have a bad day or him just knowing that this is American, he can get away with it because why? Black people do not get justice because no one cares. All it takes is that and boom, your life over with. You got a trembling of heart. You understand? Let me keep going. Um, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have no assurance of thy life. Right? You shall fear day and night, and not have no assurance of your life. Every day, your life will hang in doubt, and you're gonna have no assurance of your life at all. Whereas our oppressor, they sure that they gonna wake up, have a good day with little Susie, Becky, and Ryan, and you know what I mean. They gonna go get some ice cream and go to the beach and surfing. They sure what they gonna do. Black people wake up and we don't know how the hell we gonna eat, how we gonna feed our children, how we gonna pay these bills. You understand? We don't know. We don't got no insurance over our lives. You understand? And in the morning thou shalt say, "Would God it were even." And at even thou shalt say, "Would God it were morning." So in the morning come, you gonna be like, damn, nigga, Lord allow I make it to the evening time. I'm surprised I even woke up today. Lord allow I wake up in the evening time. You understand? Or when it be evening, be like shit, Lord allow I make it tonight. Would God it were morning, for the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sign of thine enemies, I mean, and for the sign of thine eyes which thou see. And it's the thing, instead of you having all that fear for the people that oppress you, you need to fear the Lord like that. The Bible say the fearing the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. You understand? You supposed to fear what the Lord might do to you, not the oppressor. You understand? You supposed to fear what the Lord might do to you, not them. Because guess what it say? Don't fear him that killed the body, but fear him that killed the soul, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but you don't fear them. You supposed to fear the Lord, and you ain't gotta worry about being unalive by no police. You ain't gotta worry about no straight bullet. You understand? You ain't gotta be worried about getting, unalive. You ain't gotta have to worry about it, and that's why you gotta blame the Christian church. Like I said, what happened with Sandra Macy? I'm gonna keep talking about it because she's not here to talk for herself. Like they taught black women and they taught black men superstition in the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus, in the name that doesn't work. You understand? And that's another reason why black men are needed in the home because them police should have never even been able to allow to enter into the house. And I know she called, but I believe she thought it was an intruder or something. But that's what black men are for. She's supposed to be able to call her dad, her brothers, her cousins, or somebody that's in the community that can pull up and check on her and make sure she's good. Because I know somebody call us in ISBK, we pulling up straight up, especially if they black. We gonna make sure that they good. We gonna police ourselves. You understand? And then we gonna have to worry about cases like Sonya Macy with his dude. Uh, what's his name? Sean Grayson. That's his name. Sean Grayson. And it's crazy because this dirty cop was kicked out of like 3 different police departments and everything. And not only that, when he went to Sonya Macy's house, he didn't even have his body cam on. The only reason why we know what happened, we seen what happened, is because his partner had his body cam on. The same partner he told to not to get aid to help Sonya Macy. That same partner. If it weren't for that, we wouldn't know what happened. It would have been his word. it gets hers, and she ain't here to talk right now. And that's why we doing classes about it in ISBK, because she can't talk no more. You understand? Well, let's keep going. Um, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake unto thee. And ye shall see it, and thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. And like I said, we got enemies, man. We got real enemies, because the enemy is not gonna bring you over here on slave ship. I mean, it's like it. A friend is not gonna bring you over here on slave ships. He's not gonna do nothing that the oppressor has did to black people for the past 500 years. A friend would never do that. And if you look at a friend, you look at that person as a friend, you are a complete idiot. A friend wouldn't have took Freddie Gray life like that. A friend wouldn't have took Sonya Macy life like that. These people actively look at black people as enemies, but we think that we're being righteous by looking at them as friends. You got to get out of that garbage, man. You understand? Let's go to Lamentations. We're going to finish with Deuteronomy, man. I just wanted to go over some curses with y'all and show you that everything that's happened to black people is recorded inside the Bible. And that the God said it's curses and it's the gift. But if you listen to God, you ain't gonna have to worry about nothing. You're gonna be on high above all the nations. If you don't, you're gonna be at the bottom suffering, going through hell, man. You understand? Let me go to Lamentations 4:17. It's too loud. Lamentations 4:17. Oh, and also too, if you got any questions, man, put your questions in the chat. You know what I'm saying? I'll do my best to answer them. If I can't, I'll get back to you next week with the answer. And make sure you tune in. I mean, make sure you put your name, city, and state, so I can mark you down for attendance. It's very important that I mark you down for attendance. So make sure you put your name, city, and state. Baba Kashab. Okay, let's go to Lamentations chapter 4, verse 17. And it said, as for us, our eyes have, Slack, as for us, our eyes as yet fail for our vain help. And our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. Like while y'all sitting here waiting, like I said, it's black people responsibility to fix black people. It's not Donald Trump responsibility. It's not Kamala Harris responsibility. It's not Joe Biden's responsibility. Because if you leave it up to Donald Trump, he want to give the police immunity. He want more black people to be unalive like Sonya Macy and everybody else. If you leave it to them, that's why it's supposed to be your responsibility. And your eyes failing for your vein, for what it say? Read it again, like it. As for us, as for black people, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. Our eyes has failed for our vain help. Like you looking, you waiting for somebody. It's like somebody told you that they was gonna do something, right? Somebody told you they was gonna pick you up. I'm gonna pick you up right here on Wookie Woo, and you sitting there waiting, and then they don't show up. Your eyes gonna be failed. What it says? Like I keep forgetting. Our eyes yet fail for our vain help. Your eyes failed for your vain help. You expect this person to do something for you. You expect this person to have your best interest and make sure that they look up. No, but then when it don't happen, you be sitting there looking dumb. Like we've been voting forever. Have any president ever did anything for us? No. Everybody get in office and they just disguise and act like they for black people. You understand? You got Joe Biden saying if you don't vote, you ain't black. The hell? You got what's his name? Bill Clinton. You understand? Playing a saxophone. You know what I'm saying? And again, a blowjob in the White House, slaggy for my language. So we just assume that he for black people. You understand? You got Kamala Harris putting hot sauce on greens. So and she went to a black HBCU. So we just assume she for black people. And they do all this on purpose. And then when they get in office, by manipulating you, they never do nothing for you. But then they sign Asian hate bills and transgender bills and homosexual bills. They do all this, but never do nothing for black people. You got to be insane. You got to be absolutely insane and out your mind, man. You understand? I'm gonna keep reading. Verse 18. They hunt our steps. that we cannot go into our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. They hunt our steps. Like what that devil did, what officer, what deputy Sean Grayson did to Sonya Macy was absolutely evil. It was unjustified. It was without cause, and he just is a evil devil. And y'all wonder why we call these people devils. You wonder why we call them the devils. You better believe when we say it's warranted. They got a reason to be called devils, man. Instead of them looking at black people and saying, you know what, my ancestors treated y'all horribly. You know what I mean? I want to make it right. I want to make it right, and I don't want to do. I don't want to be a cricket cop. I don't want to do no injustice to black people. They making it worse. They making it worse. You understand what it say? They hunt our steps that we cannot go into our streets. Not only can we not go into our streets, we can't even chill at home. We can't even chill at home. You understand? Without these devils trying to unalive us. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled. For our end is come. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagle of the heaven. We just got through talking about the evil. The evil. Why is it talking about the evil? Because the symbol for America is the eagle. The people that persecute black people and Hispanic people, this is who it's talking about. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagle of the heaven. They pursue us upon the mountains. They lay wait for us in the wilderness. You see that? And they lay wait for us in the wilderness. Look at these. You gotta understand, bro, that all this is not for no reason, man. When you go and read Genesis, these people have been hating us since Jacob and Esau, because that's who their forefather is. Their forefather is Esau, and he hated Jacob. Who is Jacob? He changed his name to Israel, and became the forefather of so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. These people have a perpetual hatred for Black people. You understand? Meaning what? They have a continuing hatred. This started in Genesis. You understand? And what, the 4,000 years, 3,000 years later, 2,000 years later, the same thing still going on. Because these people have a perpetual hatred, and it will never stop. No matter how much you want to hold hands and sing with them and be in an interracial marriage and whatever it is that you obsessed over when it comes to dealing with these people, no matter what it is, it's never going to change, man. It's never going to change. Like, when you going to start having your people back? I see a lot of people saying that this killing with Sonya Macy was justified. A lot of the killings that happen with black people. Like, you got this Christian organization called IUIC. They said that Trayvon Martin was stop sign. It said Trayvon Martin was unalive because he was rebellious and he did not want to listen to the police. When Zimmerman is not a goddamn cop, he was a nosy ass neighbor that thought that he was stealing and thought Trayvon Martin was doing something. You understand? And even if he didn't listen to the cop, he deserved to be unalive because of it. You got these evil niggas running around the city marching in purple and gold, telling black people that other black people should die that don't listen to police. Insane. Y'all better be careful out here, man. You understand? What happened to Sonya Macy was unfortunate. It was absolutely unfortunate. I'm gonna drop that and get Zechariah 11:5. Zechariah 11:5. Zechariah 11:5. It said, Zechariah 11, chapter 11, verse 5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Do you hear this? Do you hear this? Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. The people that unalive black people on a daily, they say they not guilty for it. If you hit the streets right now and ask about slavery, for example, and you ask the people that do they feel they gotta pay for what their ancestors did because their ancestors is not here to pay for it, and they benefited from it. They gonna say, "I'm not guilty of that. You wasn't a slave, and I didn't never had slaves. That's in the past. Let the past be the past." But if you tell that to you, they would never tell that to a Jewish man. Like a Jewish man getting justice to this day. This Jewish people that was never put inside no damn oven or even met Hitler. You understand? And guess what? They getting justice to this day, and nobody ever tells them to forget about slavery. But everybody else, when it comes to black people, everybody else hold themselves not guilty. Let them tell it. Black people are oppressed because we lazy. We want to steal. We want to murder and rob and be rappers instead of being doctors and all that. If you let them tell it, but it's never because of something that they did. It's never because of what happened to us and how they benefited from it. Understand? It said, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Hey, sorry, turn that down. It said, whose possessors, I'm going to give it to mommy. It said, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, "Blessed be the Lord." And guess what? The people that unalive us and hold themselves not guilty, they actually go to court and say they're not guilty of the crime. It can be on camera, and guess what? 9 times out of 10, majority of them get acquitted. You understand? And they say that the shooting was justified. But like I said, let's go back to Donald Trump. He want to give all police immunity. He said he don't want to lock them up for doing their job. So what the hell is their job exactly to do if they unaliving people all the goddamn time? Oh, I know what it is. Their job, the police job, is to unalive black people and further oppress black people. That's what their job is. You understand? Their job is to hurt and harm black people, and he wants to make sure that happens. That's why he implemented stop and frisk, where over 2 million black people suffer behind that. You understand? 2 million. Let's keep going. Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not, and our own shepherds pity us not. They get rich off lying to black people, telling black people everything gonna be all right, and to come as you are, don't worry about nothing. You know what I mean? They get rich off telling black people that. Am I lying? Like you literally got Christian pastors name that's Creflo Dollar telling you he rich. He rich off telling you lies. Why? Because nobody wants to hear the truth. Everybody wants to be lied to. You understand? This man ain't got rich off lying. They went inside Joe Osteen church and found hundreds of thousands of dollars buried in the goddamn wall. These people rich off lying to you. Whenever you need them, they know where to be found. They know where to be found. And they say, what? And their own shepherds pity them not. And own shepherds, they don't have no pity. Like these black Christians, it's a Christian church on every goddamn corner, and they don't even pity black people, man. You understand? They don't give a damn about black people. Um, was that Zechariah 11:5? Let me see if I can keep going. I'm gonna drop that. Let me get. I'm gonna go back to Lamentations 5:11. No, I'm gonna go to Job 30. Job 30:8. If you got any questions, make sure you put your questions in the chat box. Job chapter 30, verse 8. They were children of fools, yeah, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. And now I am their song. Yeah, I am their byword. What is this talking about? What does it mean? What does base men mean? What does it mean to be base? Hmm? It said they were children of fools. Yeah, children of base men. Who is this talking about? This talking about the people that are oppressed. This talking about the pale face. You understand? That's who it's talking about. What does it mean to be base? It means to be void of honor and morality. And what does morality mean? Morality means to have principle. You understand? To have to know no what does morality mean? Morality means to have principle concerning the distinction between something good or bad, or right or wrong. The people that oppress us, they don't have that distinction to tell what's good and what's right or wrong. You understand? They do whatever the hell they want. Like I said, they go back to Genesis when Esau sold his birthright and they ate that pottage with blood in it. They don't give a damn about what's right and wrong. It's just not in them to care about that. You understand? They void of having any type of honor. You understand? They void of having any type of good behavior. It's impossible. You got a few that you know what I mean act kind of decent, but if they all in the pot, if they all in one room, and you don't know who is you gonna trust, or you gonna lock that door? You gonna lock that door and not let them out? If they all in the damn cage, but there's some good ones in there, and there's some bad ones. Are you gonna go in that cage and try to figure out who is who? No, you gonna let that cage close, and then whatever happen, happen. I don't got time to be figuring it out. You know what I mean? And they said, they were vouler than all the earth. These people have been a vile people on the earth. No matter where they go, they rape, rob, pillage, and steal and unalive everybody and take cultures. That's what these people do. No matter where they go, this is their reputation throughout the earth. And it has always been a reputation because God said that's how they was going to live. You understand? But when are we going to recognize that this is their character? Like we don't dislike these people because the color of their skin, because the content of their character. When we gonna recognize that and say, you know what, it's enough. Enough is enough. I'm all for my people. I'm gonna fall back from dealing with these other nations because it has did nothing to benefit my people. When we gonna decide to make that happen? You understand? Um, let's go to Lamentations chapter 5 verse 11. Yeah, but they were base men, meaning they had no morality. All oppressor, he don't have no morality. He don't have no principles. He don't know how to have a distinction between good or bad or right and wrong. That nigga not he's not capable of doing that because they are carnal people, man. Understand? Let's go to Lamentations. Lamentations chapter 5 and 11. Lamentations chapter 5 verse 11, and it said, they ravished the woman in Zion and the maids in the city of Judah. You said it said they ravished the woman in Zion and the maids in the city of Judah. Like we got like our women are princesses. They princesses of the power. You understand? They princesses of the power, and they get ravished every day. Like what you seen, what happened with Sonya Macy. We was never supposed to be witnessing something like that on TV. Not only witnessing it, that was supposed to never happen to that woman, man. That was never supposed to happen to her. You know what I mean? And what does it mean to ravish? What does it mean to ravish? Do anybody know what it means to ravish? Anybody in the chat want to answer? What does it mean to ravish? I'm gonna read the scripture again. Lamentations 5 and 11. They ravished the women in Zion and the maids in the city of Judah. They ravished the city of Zion and the maids in the city of Judah. What does it mean to ravish? I'm gonna give it to you. Ravish means to take with violence. That's what ravish means. Ravish means to take with violence. So let's read that again with that definition. They ravish the women. They take with violence the women in Zion and the maids in the city of Judah. Is that not what happened to Sonya Macy? Her life was taken with violence. She didn't live old age and die of natural causes, or you know what I mean, an accident in the car, you know, or choked on something. It wasn't just nothing natural. She died violently for no reason because she told this devil, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." You understand? And I guess in his mind, she had to go because, you know, she had some water in her hand. He thought she was going to assume she was going to throw on him. She rebuked him, and she didn't listen to him fast enough. So that warned her getting her life took. If you let him tell it, because you couldn't possibly have feared for your life. You couldn't possibly have feared for your life, man. But what did the Bible say? They ravage. They take our women with violence. You understand? And you supposed to look at situations like this, and like I'm gonna keep saying, understand that these people are our enemies. It's not just the police department. You understand? It's not just the government. It is a race of people, it's a nation of people who are our enemies. That's what you need to focus on and understand and tell yourself. Because if you don't, it's gonna be you next. It's gonna be your child next. It's gonna be your cousin next, your mom, your dad, anybody around. Don't wait till it hit close to home and then you want to care and say, start teaching your kids that now. You start being like that now. You understand? Let's drop that and go to Jeremiah, one of my favorite scriptures. Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 5. Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 5. Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 5. For who shall have pity upon thee, O Jerusalem? Who is Jerusalem? Who is this talking about? This talking about black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. Who gonna have pity on us? Who gonna have pity on us? Not the people that you wanna give responsibility over fixing your neighborhood. Oh, they're definitely not gonna have pity on you. Joe Biden is not gonna have pity on you. Donald Trump not gonna have pity on you. That's why he want to give police immunity. You understand? Kamala Harris is not gonna have pity on you. That's why she locked black people up, about 1,500 black people, for weed crimes, and then went on TV and laughed about how she smoked weed. They not gonna have, and she didn't want to relinquish no information or evidence that was gonna free innocent black people that was sitting on death row. These people are not gonna have pity on you. You understand? Like you would have pity on your own people. And who shall bemoan thee? What does it mean to bemoan? What does it mean to bemoan? Who shall bemoan thee? Or who shall go aside to ask how thou doest? What does a bemoan mean? Bemoan means to express sorrow for. We supposed to look at black people and like they're in a state of lamentation. They struggling. They in hell, and they supposed to have some type of sorrow for black people, but they're not capable of doing that. You know why? Because this is a base people. This is a base people. They void of any type of morality or principle of doing anything good, especially when it comes to dealing with black people. Why? Because this been going on since Genesis. It's way before us. You think that you can stop something by holding hands with these people and loving them and marrying them when they've been doing this, and we've been in the back. We was fighting in the womb. You read Genesis the 25th chapter. We was at war with these people in the goddamn womb, in the stomach. You think you can stop that all of a sudden? No, you ain't gonna never be able to stop that, man. You understand? You're not gonna ever be able to stop that. And what does it read that again? For who shall have pity on thee, upon thee, O Jerusalem? Or who shall bemoan thee? Who gonna express sorrow for black people? Being in the condition that we in, getting shot down in the street, being in prison, having abortions, being overdosing off drugs. You understand? Losing our kids to alcoholism and overdoses, and who gonna have some type of sorrow for black people? None of these people will, because you are not their people. You understand? What do you say, sis? So, like it, sir. How do our brethren get corrected from wanting to separate from Edom, but refuse to acknowledge our Hispanic and Native American Indian brothers? Yeah, that's a problem. You understand? That's absolutely a problem. Let me read your question again. So, like it, sir. How do our brethren get corrected from wanting to separate from Edom, but refuse to acknowledge our Hispanic and Native American Indian brothers? Yeah, those brothers. The problem with them is they love their oppressor. You know what I mean? That's why they refuse to acknowledge they brothers who got the same struggle that they got. They got the same common enemy that's going through the same thing that they going through in this hell, in this captivity. They refuse to acknowledge them because want to. They only can see themselves acknowledging their oppressor. Yeah, it's like one or other. Like you know how the Bible say you can't serve two gods because you gonna love one and you gonna hate the other. That's the same thing with brotherhood. You can't love somebody else and then love yourself. Because Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians, those are our people. They are us. So how you? It's impossible for you to love them and love your oppressor. You gotta hate one and love the other. They hate the oppressor. I mean, the Hispanic, Native American Indians, and they refuse to acknowledge them. Is because they love the people who oppress us. That's what it is. And you know why they love the people who oppress us? Because it's easy. It's a coward's way out. You don't have to fight. You don't have to protest. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do anything. You just can continue getting oppressed. It's easier. You understand? But for people like that, look, I'm gonna tell you like this: is we don't want them in the ISUBK. Straight up, we do not want them brothers in here or them sisters in here because Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, we are family. You understand? We are family, and that ain't gonna never change, no matter how much you want to love the people that oppress you. You understand? Um, but with that being said, man, I'm gonna go ahead and end the class. The water for everybody tuning in and putting your name, city, and state. Uh, every Wednesday, you know what I mean? I do the law class. Kariala do every other class from Monday to Sunday. That brother be going crazy. You can also subscribe to not only just the Sacramento page, but we got another channel that's the ISUBK Oakland, ISUBK the Bay Area. You know what I'm saying? You can tune into the classes, check out our food drives. You understand? Check out our camp speakings and everything that we do in the Black, Hispanic, Native American Indian community and for the community. But with that being said, Yahweh Shema Shabbat our brothers, Yahweh Shema Tabashim, Yahweh all the sisters. Shalom.